bow, you have catapult 1 and catapult 2. When we're doing carrier qualifications like we're going to be doing this underway, we utilize catapult 1 and 2, obviously, so we can continuously land and launch aircraft, right? So we keep this wrapped. When we load aircraft onto the catapult, this is what we call a dustpan. Don't know what the formal name is, this is what we call it. So right here, we're going to stop the nose wheel of the aircraft just aft of the dustpan. We're going to give him a hand signal like this, which tells the pilot to drop his launch bar, all right? So you'll see a little launch bar come down, and it should just go inside the dustpan, if not just after it, right? Once that's down, the ABEs are going to come in and they're going to put what's called a holdback bar. That's going to be just after the nose wheel, all right? These are all going to come into play once we hook this up to the catapult. So once those are hooked up, we're going to taxi forward. That launch bar is going to go down to what we call grooves, right? It's going to initiate a buffer hook. That's going to pop up. Looks like two little fingers, right? So we kind of, anybody ever use a slingshot when they're a kid? It's the same concept. Think of that buffer hook as your two fingers pulling back, all right? We're going to keep moving forward until we get up to this area. And we're going to retract the shuttle, all right? The shuttle's going to come back. It has little grooves on a spreader. That's where that launch bar is going to go into once we're ready to launch. Once we're ready to launch, all checks have been made, crosswind, all that good stuff, and we're ready to launch. The shooter's going to tell us to throat it, which means that launch bar is going to go into the groove. So now, essentially, you have the buffer hook pulling back this way, you have the shuttle pushing this way, and you got the pilot in there going up on power, right? So you got all this power built up, and then once it's ready to shoot, and everything's clear and we have a green beacon, either for playing topside, it'll be over here on the deck edge or in the bubble. They're going to press a button. It's going to drop those buffer hooks. It's going to let go of that aircraft, and it's going to shoot in about 2.2 seconds. It's going to be in the air. All right? That's essentially for our pointy nose. A little bit slower for the Hawkeye, but not very much. All right? And that's done on a constant basis. The importance of the steam catapults is we have to be correct with the weight of the aircraft, because if we put too much steam pressure, we could launch it over, break that aircraft, and it goes into the water. Or if we don't have enough, it's not going to go as fast as it needs to go, and it's going to go into the water. So there's a lot of calculations that need to be made before that aircraft goes up on power and before we're ready to press that button. We've gotten so good at it that we can usually, once everything's ready to go, launch one aircraft every 2 minutes. All right? So you can see how all those calculations play in, but we do it so often and so well. Steam power is still the best. I know the Ford has the electromagnetic, but I still think with all that system and all that good stuff, steam is the best way to go. All right? Because if it does go down, we can always just swap to the next catapult. So essentially, without all the big words and everything else that this catapult does, that is essentially how it works. All right? There's a lot of maintenance that has to be done on a constant basis before flight operations and afterwards, right? So this is how we launch aircraft on the carrier. All right, any questions?